Hey guys, I'm out here on the water on Lake Winnipesaukee and up here in New Hampshire, finally. Fortunately, we're lucky with zero boat traffic. What I want to show you though today is that sometimes you've got a map chip that's really good on a particular lake and it's not so good on another lake, or it might be really good in one section of lake and it's not great in the other section. For example, on Champlain, I've seen that, especially on the inland sea portion. So what I will show you is how to run two maps at the same time. On the left hand side here I have the Navionics set up, and on the right hand side I have the CMap onboard. Okay, so you can see that we're set up. So what I've got is that when I first create these maps, and let me show you quickly how to do that. It's actually pretty easy. All right, right now I've got a single map up on this screen. I'm showing more options. My chart source is Navionics. You can see it down here. It's the right bottom right, and I got to that from just looking at more options. Okay, so I know I'm running Navionics, but what I find is that some lakes the built-in CMap onboard is actually better, and also it helps me a lot with the color, be able to color up the depths. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to create a screen that shows both maps on the same unit. Okay, so the way to do that is you hit Pages, okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll up over here, and I'm going to add a new page, okay. So first page I'm going to take and drag a chart in, and the second page there I'm going to drag another chart. So now I've got two different charts running, okay. So I'm going to save that, okay, very simple. So now you can see I've got two different maps, and you'll see they're actually at different zoom levels. This one on the right is the default chart, okay, so it's zoomed out quite a few miles. This is the map that I have set up. So one is zoomed at 20, the other is zoomed at 25. So what that tells me is it lets me run two different zoom levels on the maps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this panel, okay. You see the orange around the outline here is selected to the left one, so I'm going to touch the right. So now I'm running on the right unit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit more options. I'm going to change that to CMap onboard, okay. All right, so it's already set to that. So when I go back, I should be able to then zoom this map in. So for example, we go over to Winnipesaukee, and you can see our levels there, okay. Now, this is the CMap map for Winnipesaukee. Let's zoom this one out, and I'll go over here. And the reason I'm showing you Winnipesaukee is I'm going to take this onto the water and show you how it actually operates in real time. So this is the outline for Navionics, and you can see I'm definitely running two different maps here. Okay, that's neat. So now what I want to do, I'm going to come back over here to the CMap on board. I'm going to change the menu. I'm going to turn on my depth palette. Okay, I want to turn the depth palette to depth shading. All right, so notice the colors just changed. Now I'm going to turn shading on to my depth 1 shading, and I'll go back, and now we have some colorations on this map that I don't have on the Navionics map. So you can see they look similar but different. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get on the water and show you how to do this, which is kind of cool. Now if I'm over on, I have the left map highlighted. If I hit clear cursor on that, you'll notice that my right map still stays where I have it zoomed over to. Okay, so I have to go over here, clear the cursor. Now we're both back at the house. Okay, and you can see that we're running, this one's a half a mile, this one's at 0.2. Let's change that to the same scale. So there's our same scale. And you'll see that what's interesting is that near my house there's a beaver pond, and it doesn't show it on the Navionics map. It also shows it, this is the one of the rivers near the house here, real small river, and this is a small pond across the street. The map, it doesn't show it on the Navionics, however it does show a little bit of the North Branch River, which is this river that runs right through here. Okay, so again, if you have a map chip that's good on one part of the lake, and the built-in maps or another map chip is good on another section of lakes, this is what you would do. So what I'm gonna do is, now I'm gonna clear the cursor out. We got it set up to run a split screen. I'm gonna get this boat on the water, and I'll show you what it looks like as I'm running, which should be kind of interesting. And the nice thing is, you'll notice these are independent. So if I zoom this guy to 1/2 mile, this one is sitting at 2/10. It doesn't change the scale over here. So they're essentially like you're having 2 different units running, but they're all on the single unit. Okay. All right. So let's get on the water, and I'll give it a shot and show you what it looks like. But when you normally create these screens, you will get the global settings. Those global settings are on your settings page under chart. So anything on chart is going to show up on both chart pages for you. Okay. So if you realize that, and then you say, okay, but I've got colors I want to add. I want to add orientation. It's not going to do that, because those are what are considered local to the chart page. So these are what are marked global settings. Okay. So we X out of that. So now we're back on these 2 screens. So the first thing you're going to do is that if I want to work on this screen, I have to have this orange outline for me. So I go here to menu. Okay. I'm just going to check some things, make sure it's set up the way I like it. I run heading up, so it's set to heading up. That's good. It's also set up. This is the first thing you need to check is what's the map source. This map source is CMap on board. Okay. Where this one over here, if we go to more options, you notice that it went back to the base menu. This one is showing Navionics. So I'm running 2 different maps, and you can actually see the detailed difference. The Navionics map is very, very, very detailed, because they did a 1-foot resolution map of this lake about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. It's actually pretty good. What you have to do on the new panel, make sure you always touch it. It'll change the menu settings for you. Okay, come over to more options. We're going to check this. We're going to look at chart options. We've got everything set up the way we want it. But what we want to do is we want to set our depth palette. Okay, and this is set to depth shading. Whereas if I come over to this one, go to more options, chart options, you'll see there is no overlay for our depth palette. Okay, this has got a lot of different settings on it, but none of them relate to the same setting as on the CMap pages. Okay, so let's drive around. I'll show you what it looks like. So you notice as we're moving, now both maps are going to move with each other. You notice that this one's zoomed out a little bit more. If I zoom it in a little bit, you can see we're on the same color boundaries. Okay. I just happen to like the CMap because I can color it up. At least with the Navionics Platinum chip that I have, I can't do the coloration. So you can do some minor stuff, but not a whole lot. Okay. So as we move along, you can see it's pretty handy. Again, see, I normally run 2 maps. You can see the second map here, okay? And I run this map. So my right unit is set up to run the CMap on board. So I run Navionics on the left, CMap, excuse me, on the right. So, okay. So that in a nutshell is pretty much the main way to do this. So quickly, that was the way to set up your single unit to run 2 different map sources. Okay. Hopefully you can pick that up. It's actually fairly easy to do that. You can see they're both operating independently. Again, you have to remember that when you flip over, the menus will change. So just remember that. Remember that the heading things that are on this menu are local to that screen side. Okay, those called this panel. Okay, so you have it set up by default. When it comes in a north up. So make sure you change that if you're running heading up. So all right. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.